Hello and welcome back to another episode. In this video I'm gonna review To Be On Top for the Commodore 64. And let's go! To Be On Top is a music game. It was created by the German musician and video game composer Chris Hülsbeck, who is best, or probably best known for creating the soundtracks of Turrican 1 and 2, Katakis, Apidia and The Great China Sisters. The game was produced and released by the German video game company Rainbow Arts, and it was released in 1987 for the Commodore 64 on disc and tape, and it was also released and converted in 1988 for the Atari ST computers. Now in this game your task is to create a new song and make it the next #1 hit in the charts. Like many musicians, you also start your journey to the top on the streets. Time and place is unknown, but that doesn't matter anyways. Your first way should take you home to get some inspiration for your song. At home, avoid your mother at all costs, otherwise she will ground you and you lose the game immediately. To get some inspiration, you turn on the TV. Now you play a mini game where you have to collect 16 music inspirations with a crosshair. The inspirations are divided in 4 categories: bass, accompaniment, melody and sequence. For each category you can collect 4 out of 16 different colored inspirations, and you have 6 seconds to catch an inspiration. You don't need to catch all 4 inspirations for each category, but the more you collect, the more variations you have later for your song to choose from. Afterwards, you're gonna use your collected inspirations to create a song on the piano. Take your time and try out all kinds of variations until you're satisfied with your song. When you're finished with the piano, your next stop will be the home of a friend of yours. But don't forget to take the VHS tape with you, or otherwise he will not let you in. The streets are a dangerous place, especially in this town. And the reason for that is because there are drunk drivers with jeeps and tanks who try to run you over, plus guys with ghetto blasters and old ladies who will steal your inspirations. If you get run over or lose all the inspirations, the game is over. Underneath the game screen are 4 indicators. The first one tells you if and what item you have collected, the second tells you where you currently are in the game, the third one how many inspirations you have left, and the fourth shows you if your song is in the top 10 charts and on which place it currently is. At your friend's place you're gonna use his synthesizer to arrange your song a little more and create a demo tape. With the demo tape, your next stop will be the disco, where you have to talk to the local DJ in order to get a reference card which allows you access to the recording studio. And he's willing to give you the reference card after you have brought him a couple of beers. In the recording studio, you can finish your song by adding 1 out of 16 different drum sequences to it. And when you're finally satisfied with your choice, the manual specifically says it is very important that you push the stop button, then rewind the tape, and lastly push the record button to record and complete your song. But I've tried it and you get the same result if you just push the record button. Strange, but it works. After the recording studio, your final stop will be the Rainbow TV studio. Depending on which place your song currently is in the charts, you either get invited to do a live performance on TV or the game is over. If your song is on place 1, 2 or 3, you get an invitation. Place 4 or higher and the game is over. Now, if you don't get an invitation, the game is not immediately over, so you can still walk around the town if you want to, but there is actually nothing to do anymore, and you can't change your song anymore. Also, during the game, there is no way to access the TV, piano, synthesizer or recording studio a second time, so all your decisions are final as soon as you've finished one of those stations. If you manage to get an invitation for the live performance, then you have to accompany your song with a sample synthesizer. With the fire button you play the bass drum, joystick up and you clap your hands, joystick down and your character says 19, joystick to the right side and you play snare drum 1 and joystick to the left side and you play snare drum 2. Depending on your performance, the audience rating bar on the left side will go up or down. Your goal should be to keep the meter above the green zone, which means that the audience loves your performance and your song will go up in the charts, and this is actually the only way to reach the number 1 place in this game. If you manage to stay in the green zone, the people still like your performance, but your song will not really or just slowly move up in the charts. And if you stay too long below the green zone, then your song will definitely drop down in the charts, since the audience is not really amused with your performance. If you are able to reach the number 1 in the charts and stay there until the live performance is over, you get a golden record and you win the game. Otherwise, it's a nice try, game over, and try again. According to the manual, the key to succeed during the live performance is to play the sample synthesizer to the rhythm of your song and be creative with it / make some variety. According to some tips and tricks in old video game magazines and also today on the internet, you only need to play the bass drum or clap your hands to the rhythm of the song to reach number 1 in the charts. And I remember also that I've watched a video on YouTube years ago where Hülsbeck beat the game on camera and said the same thing. Now I don't know if it has something to do with the fact that I'm not a musician or maybe I'm just too stupid for this game, But 30 years have passed now and I still fail at the live performance stage, no matter what I do. And the best place that I can reach and hold in this game is number 3 in the charts. The only thing that comforts me is that I know that I'm not the only one who isn't able to beat this game. There are many comments and also a couple of videos on the internet of people which were also never able to get a better result than myself. But even though I can't beat the game, I still like it a lot. Control-wise, what can I say? You play the game with a joystick and the controls work. The graphics are not over the top, but still good. The few sound effects that are in the game are also okay. The music, on the other hand, which is the main focus or the main star in this game, is just amazing. Hülsbeck made also 10, let's say, extra songs, which are the original top 10 chart songs in this game, and you can listen to them at the title screen if you want to. Plus, you can also save your own created songs as long as they have made it into the charts, which I actually think is pretty cool. Back in the day, some of the video game magazines said that To Be On Top is not really a game, it's just a tech demo that shows the sound capabilities of the Commodore 64. Well, to be fair, I understand why they got this impression, since beside creating a song and optimizing it, there is not very much to do in this game and it's actually not that hard to dodge all the stuff on the streets. But for me personally, it still counts as a game. And even if I'm wrong and it would turn out that technically speaking it's more a tech demo than a game, then Mr. Hülsbeck still would have made an amazing job and created one hell of a tech demo. Finally, there's one thing that I wanted to mention in this review. It's something that I haven't figured out yet, a little mystery that might not even mean anything. The voice sample 19, that you can say during the live performance and which appears also in one of the drum sequences and which is also in one of the songs which plays during the game. Now I came up with 2 theories why this voice sample is in the game. Number 1 would be, since Hülsbeck was actually 19 at the time that he made this game, it was some kind of a statement or a personal footprint for him. Or, number 2, it was an homage to Paul Hardcastle's song 19 from 1985. Again, this could mean nothing at all, but I still wanted to include my theory / this question in case I was up to something and maybe I would get an answer someday to my question if there actually is one. So if anyone out there knows the answer to my question, I would be happy to read about it down below in the comments. Like already mentioned in the beginning, the game was also released for the Atari ST computers. Now I've never played this version, but I've watched a few videos online, and from what I've seen so far, the Atari ST version is 100% identical to the Commodore 64 version, only with better graphics and with better sound quality. So I can easily also recommend the Atari ST version as well as the Commodore 64 version to every video gamer who has a thing for music games, and I think it's also a very nice piece for every collector. Now in terms of prices, an original version of To Be On Top on the Commodore 64 and on the Atari ST can range from between 70 to 300 euros, depending on the condition of course. The version that I have is not an original release, it's a re-release from a company called Soft Gold. It was released in 1991 and it belongs to the so-called Top Shots collection. And this re-release is actually the cheapest version that you can get of this game for 2 reasons. Number 1, like I just said, it's a re-release, and re-releases are normally cheaper than the original releases, and this release, yeah, you can compare it, or it's the same thing like a best of or the Platinum edition that you can get for games on the PlayStation 2. And the second reason is because the version that I have is the tape / the dataset version of the game, not the disc version. And again, tape versions of games on the Commodore 64 are much cheaper than the disc versions. And for this version that I have, you can pay, or you can expect prices to pay between 20 to 50 euros. And that's basically everything that I can say about the game To Be on Top for the Commodore 64. And I really hope you enjoyed this review, and maybe see you next time. Take care. Bye!